Hey guys, forecaster John Ruggiano with Ruggy Weather on this Sunday morning, August 20th, 2011. We have a newly formed tropical storm Irene just developed late yesterday evening, now located just to the northwest of the Leeward Islands, just crossed over there as right now packing 50-mile-an-hour winds, moving to the west-northwest at around 20. This is the latest infrared satellite picture or loop. We could see very good organization over the last 12 hours with this system. I'm seeing some really good convection to the north and northwest of the center, trying to close into a closed circulation right here, as you can see, convection wrapping around. So this system is becoming very organized and will continue to do so over the next 12 to 24 hours as it heads towards Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. National Hurricane Center has just issued a hurricane warning for much of Puerto Rico and the eastern part of the Dominican Republic for later tonight into tomorrow. Now I'm going to take a look at the latest computer models. This is a cluster of 6 computer models with the projected path and intensity of Tropical Storm Irene. As we can see, we have 2 models that are bringing the system more on a northerly bend or recurve towards the North Carolina and South Carolina coast. And then what the Hurricane Center is going with right now is more of a path that's closer to these 2 models here, which are running pretty close to the eastern coast of Florida and into Georgia and South Carolina. Latest track from the Hurricane Center is a little further west, more toward Miami and then just inland, but this is a pretty big cone as we get up into this area, guys, so we're going to keep an eye on this. I think these 2 models out here, which are UK Met and the GFDL, are too far west with the system. They bring it pretty much over the Dominican Republic into Cuba, and actually one of them coming just south of Cuba and out into the central Gulf of Mexico, which I think this is way out there and wrong. Same thing with the GFDL. I think it's too far to the west. Right now I'm favoring more of an easterly track, so we'll keep an eye on this. My biggest concern is the further east this storm tracks and stays off the land here in Cuba and the Dominican Republic. Well, it is going to be over the Dominican Republic no matter what, but once it exits and heads more to the northwest, the further north and west it stays, more toward the Bahamas, and then starts curving more to the northwest and then north right in here, that's giving an indication that this system could maintain and intensify its strength as it approaches Florida and the Bahamas. And with the warm waters here in the southeast coast, anything 200 to 300 miles offshore moving toward the north, toward North Carolina, I think this system will have a very good chance to become a Category 2 system, so we'll have to keep an eye on that in the next several days. Okay, this is the 11 a.m. advisory from the National Hurricane Center on Tropical Storm Irene. As I was mentioning earlier, guys, we do have hurricane warnings now in effect, as you can see right here in Puerto Rico and the eastern part of the Dominican Republic. As Irene continues moving to the west-northwest, it'll come to the southern parts of Puerto Rico and into the eastern portions of the Dominican Republic as a strong tropical storm or a weak Category 1 hurricane. As you can see, tomorrow morning projections of this storm being between Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic at 8 a.m. with 75-mile-an-hour winds, probably gusts to 90 as it approaches the Dominican Republic. Then from there it continues moving west-northwest over the Dominican Republic and off the northern shores of Cuba before it starts moving more northwest and regains its strength as another Category 1, 75-mile-an-hour winds projected for the 25th of August, which is Thursday morning, as it approaches Miami. So southern Florida and especially the eastern portions of Florida will be in the high risk area right now, I think, for a landfall. We'll keep an eye on that over the next few days. Right now, our coordinates as of 11 a.m. Sunday morning, we have 17.00 north, 63.2 west. We're moving west-northwest at 20 miles per hour. Maximum sustained winds right now are 50 miles per hour. Barometric pressure 1,005 millibars or 2968. On my blog, guys, I'll have this posted, which will update with each advisory and updated satellite loops and computer model projections for the system. So go to ruggyweatherblogspot.com. I have these posted on my blog, and this will be updating with each advisory, so you guys can keep an eye on this system and how it's tracking. Now, my concern, guys, for the Delaware Valley and Mid-Atlantic states will be very heavy rainfall possibly next weekend into early next week as Tropical Storm Hurricane Irene move up the coast from Florida. Right now, the most likely landfall, in my opinion, will be from South Carolina to Hatteras, near Wilmington at least. This is the most prone area, I think, right now for landfall. But then again, it could come into near Miami and before it moves more north. If it stays offshore, then it will likely become stronger and possibly a Category 2 storm system as it gets off the southeast coast before making landfall. Like I said, most likely south of North Carolina looks like a good bet right now, but things are subject to change. This is just my best estimate. And once this system pushes north into the mid-Atlantic states and into the northeast, heavy rainfall is going to fall from Georgia northeast along the Appalachians into the east. We could be looking at 4 to 8 inch amounts, locally 10 inches in this area. So for everybody in the Delaware Valley who had that training effect last week with 9 to 11 inches of rain, we might have some heavy rain coming once again, and this could really cause problems for flooding over parts of New Jersey, Delaware, eastern Maryland, where they've been having heavy rain, and even southeastern Pennsylvania over the last several days to a week. So this is going to be watched very closely over the next few days on the exact track of this system. I will be updating probably several times this week, keeping an eye on this threat for heavy rainfall. Of course, we'll have strong gusty winds no matter what, from South and North Carolina into at least eastern Virginia, parts of Maryland, New Jersey. At the same time, my concern, guys, is we have a very strong high pressure system coming down out of central Canada into the Great Lakes in the northeast, and this is going to act somewhat as a block and slow this system down as it enters into the southeast states. So it's not going to be a very fast mover until this high, which will be up here, moves out. And also we'll have a strong northeast to east fetch between the high and the storm system, causing a strong pressure gradient. So there will be a very strong onshore flow for at least a few days from Long Island all the way down into the Carolinas as this storm slowly moves north up the coast. And you know, we're gonna have to keep an eye on this, guys. So I'll update probably Tuesday and again on Thursday, and we'll see how we're looking for the track of Irene and the potential threat for flooding rains and some strong winds. So stay tuned, and I'll get back to you guys a little later. Have a good one.